Back from vacation. It looks like they're doing well. They didn't swarm. Back again from our vacation. We went to Fairbanks, Portland, and back. The bees look like they're really, really healthy. Looks like I saw some pollen going in there. They're coming and going really fast. Alright, what are you working on today?
We are going to get into our bee box and see how our bees are doing. Because before we went on vacation 3 weeks ago, it's a little over than 3 weeks ago, we noticed that we had some queen cells that were being drawn out. And so I decided to leave those queen cells in to see if they will give themselves a new queen. So now we're opening it up and going deep inside. So while we were gone, my husband raided the kitchen cabinets, and guess what? These bowls are versatile. You don't only use them for salads, you can use them as bee feeding station. And then we always save our chapsticks because kids like to reuse them or do crafts with them.
At least no bees drowned.
Hey, look at that. Look how many chapsticks. I mean, we got 0 bees drowning.
I did a good job.
You did a great job.
So first glance, they seem to be tamer than when I was trying to do this. They're not really attacking your hands, but you're not very far in there either, though. Why would you say that they're getting a little more aggressive than they used to be?
Oh, sometimes when the family gets bigger, they kind of get forward.
But didn't you also say sometimes they don't like cologne or body odor or whatever? Yep. So do you think it's my body odor that they don't like?
Maybe. You do douse yourself in cleaning products and other hygiene products. Not bad.
Well, it was really hot, humid here, and so I was sweating pretty good. So maybe that's why they were trying to attack me.
Maybe.
But they seem to be pretty docile today, which is good. Glance, how are they looking in there?
Oh, they're definitely filling it up. I mean, there's so many bees up here. Like in this beehive, there's a bunch of them. I can see them just all over the thing. So,
did those top ones have any drawn out at all? Or you'll find out in a second.
Well, sort of, kind of, not really. But they're definitely on this first frame, like, give me a second here. Okay, so while I collect this propolis, so I'm just gonna go around. And the propolis right now is really nice. It's soft, it's pliable. Right there. This is propolis. This is what you're looking for. We're gonna make several tinctures out of this. So we've been collecting them every time we're opening up the bee box. Okay, so there's a little bit more propolis right here. And it varies in color. But like if you come up here, this is propolis, see? It's not like wax. And see, like right here, between the frames, right here, see, this is a good example where you can find it. Right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this guy. You can also do it with a knife if you don't have one of these fancy tools.
And in our description we have a few different beekeeping items on Amazon that we have links to, just in case you're interested in like buying a. Then they are not our sponsors, by the way. It's just ideas of what you could buy to start your beekeeping if you choose to.
So this jar has been in here for over 3 weeks, and you can see they were trying to stabilize the jar on their frames, and so they put propolis right here. Okay. Right there.
It almost doesn't faze them that you lifted that jar up. The bees are just still on there.
Calm. They're just there.
So what do you think they like about that jar?
Well,
it had food in it, of course.
Yeah, so, and if you come in here and like take a peek right here, see, they're still on the chopsticks, because, you know, wood will naturally soak things inside of it. And so they're trying to get all the little bits and pieces out of it.
Anything in these first frames?
Well, on this side, they're kind of working on things. I think they're starting to think, okay, we need to build this out. We need to work. I mean, look at that. So there's bees here, and you can see them building their little sideways structure right here. Right here, there's a good structure, so I'm just gonna break this structure. But yeah, they're coming up here. So now I'm gonna put this back because I want to get that bowl out, and then I want to get all this propolis out.
So what do you think you're up to this year when it comes to propolis? Like a half a pound or?
No, definitely not a half a pound.
Quarter of a pound?
I don't know. We're going to have to combine everything and see how much I have. But you can see they put propolis right here on the chopsticks as well. Right there. See, and propolis, see how it just kind of peaks? So, yeah. So I'll just kind of clean this. And it's nice to clean it as you're taking it out of the hive because it's more pliable. Once it's out of the hive, it leaves that certain temperature that the bees have, and it becomes harder. And if you want to get it pliable again, you have to play with it. Kind of like you do with modeling clay. You gotta get it soft between your hands before you can do something. But that's like only if you have a draining wound and you want to help everything come out, you would put propolis on that, and that's why you make a patty and then you stick it on your wound, and it just kind of helps to draw things out.
Oh wow, a bunch of propolis on that, huh?
Yeah, and if you look inside the hive, look how they build it out. They build the propolis out around the container to stabilize it. I mean, and it like glues it at the same time.
Is that the big one right there at your own?
Where?
On the wall there.
No, these are 2 females.
Oh, no, they're kind of big compared to some of these others.
Yeah.
Are you going to reuse this as your honey base, or are you going to reuse the bowls or plates I put in there?
Well, you know, they say plastic kills. You know, glass bowls are better than plastic. So I just like this one because, you know, it was one of the little to-go from a restaurant, and I just hate wasting things right away. So I like to reuse them at least a couple of times before I finally recycle it.
So this lady right here, is she trying to sting you?
Yeah, sounding the war drums. So I'm gonna put this to the side.
Well, I think this one's kind of doing the same thing. Right there.
Yeah.
Lifting her butt. right, how does this look? Looks like they've been busy and they're making some interesting structures, if I do say so. I don't think they're, while you're gone, they didn't have any building inspectors, so.
Oh man.
So you can kind of see.
Ladies, ladies, ladies. My God.
You can kind of see they just weren't interested in following your rules.
No, not really. But we do need a bowl, because once I start lifting this off, the honey is going to be dripping. There's pieces that are going to be breaking. So we need to pause and go get something that I can put that stuff into.
Yeah. Video's on.
Excuse me, ladies. Here's the purples.
You want this chair closer to you?
No. So, and here's how you know that this is not wax. Look at the colors of propolis. And it can be dark green, it can be more yellow. See how this one's more, orange with yellow? So bees make it a different color. And then if you see my little bag, each time I go I try to grab the same bag, couldn't find mine. But if you look in the bag, you see that it's more green with some dark speckles in it. This one is yellow, this one is bright orange. And the bright orange one is actually harder. It's more brittle, I guess, not harder, brittle. And if you get a little bee in there stuck, I mean, that's okay too. This one is a dried out bee. She must have got it a little bit squashed when we were putting the feed in. Okay, so here's right here, we're grabbing it too. Just nice and gently. Okay, ladies, move. Move, please. Oh, you don't like me. Ooh, look at you.
I told you they were being aggressive to me, so.
They're attacking my hands. I might have to wear glues. All right, ladies. Well, so this one also has a little bee that got smushed. You can also save the bees. You can make a tincture out of those.
So first glance, they all look healthy.
They all look healthy. I'm watching
Wings look good.
Yeah, I'm watching for broken wings, for eaten wings, for missing wings. I don't see anything. I'm also looking for varroa mites, which kind of looks like, if you know food flies, you know those smaller ones, little dark ones. Varroa mite will look like that when it's on the bees, and usually you will see it right on their little backs. I don't see anything like that as of right now. I'm looking, as I'm talking to you guys, I'm getting thicker gloves out because I'm going to be moving the frames. And I don't like the bee gloves that, they have those really thick leather ones, because I feel like it's hard for me to work in them. So what I do is I just use regular food grade or hospital gloves, whatever you want to call them, and then I will double that up And then I will put regular garden gloves on that I use exclusively for my bees, and you can see the propolis on them. It's kind of hard to clean them up once you get propolis on anything, so beware of that.
Alright, so it looks like there's nothing drawn out on this side. What about your side?
Nope, nothing.
Huh.
First frame is empty. So I'm gonna set this frame this way. When you're working, it's nice to have a second hive open, because like the first frame, it's nice to take it out so you have more work room. And then you can start moving them, just kind of to give yourself some wiggle room.
You can see that they're agitated a little bit. Oh, this side looks pretty good.
Good.
They did a little bit of bad building, but all in all.
And you were asking about a drone. I just saw one here. Drones move crazy fast usually on me, so I lost him. There's a huge one here. Oh, right here. There he is.
Oh yeah.
That's a drone. See how huge he is?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so overall this frame is a good frame. Looks like it's going to be a honey frame, which is great. I don't see any eggs in it. I don't see any larvae in it. Bees look pretty good.
So on this side there's some capped. Is that capped honey?
Yeah, that's capped honey. They evaporated it and capped it off, and I should most likely get this piece out. Just because you want the bees to have that nice even build. And then these pieces have nothing in them, so I'm actually going to use our handy dandy jar. Throw the wax in. Yeah, we can make candles out of it later on once we have a bunch. Now I will always go in where the frame corners are and pull out the propolis, because if you're moving the frames around and you don't put them quite the way they were, the propolis kind of gets in the way, so it's nice to keep up on that also.
Well, it makes it easier to pull out later too.
Yeah.
So sometimes they get stuck in there. So it's nice not to have to struggle to pull out.
I'm kind of struggling with this one.
It's that darn propolis, right?
Well, it's not just the propolis, it's the way they got some stuff to build.
Yeah, they didn't do a great job, but it's dripping wax on my side.
It's dripping honey.
I mean, sorry, not wax, but honey, yes.
Yep. It's dripping honey. So, this one is a good one that you want to use smoke on if you use a smoker.
Why?
Just kind of, get the bees out of there, out of those nooks and crannies. If you don't use smoke, just shake them off a little bit.
But shaking them off can agitate them.
Oh, it definitely will. But just getting in there and opening the frames up like this and having the honey fall, I mean, you're already agitating them, so.
So you're gonna undo their little ugly combs, or are you gonna leave it there?
No, I think I'm gonna undo it. I think I'm gonna undo it. Now this is kind of cool because we have a stick here. Look at that.
Oh, you can eat it right off the stick.
Yeah, look at that.
Girls will like that. It's like a sucker.
Yeah, brand new invention, people.
A honeysucker.
Comb on a stick, on a chopstick, still on a stick. So put that there.
What's the other side look like?
The other side looks great. Look how the other side looks.
Oh wow.
Looks really good. Now would you mind getting me one of those bowls?
What you doing?
Oh, I'm just kind of blowing off the bees. I'm gonna steal this piece of honey. I'm gonna plop it straight in a bowl here.
Now, here's the question of the day. So, they're still a fairly small colony.
Yeah.
You're taking some of their bees, their
Supply?
honey. So you're taking some of their food supply. So I know we're feeding them, but is there any risk?
Well, of course, if the colony doesn't have enough honey, they're not going to survive through the winter. Of course, especially our winters. So our colony did not produce honey for us this year. So everything they have will go back to them. The only reason I'm doing what I'm doing right now is because I don't want it to be like this.
So you're going to feed this back to them?
Yeah. Because when we're going to start winterizing them and pushing them to one hive versus two, it's going to be very difficult with all these tongues and, you can't exactly estimate how much food they have because of the way everything's built,
And during the wintertime, it's too cold to actually refeed them.
Yeah.
So we have snow for at least 2 or 3 months where it doesn't even melt. And there's days where it's negative 40 or 50 wind chill. And ambient temperature between probably 20 and negative 20 all winter long. So opening up the hive will kill them pretty much. So you have to pretty much have them self-sufficient for a couple months.
When they are, winterized and they are in the cluster, which is like a big ball of bees, the cluster travels frame to frame. So now if there's frame that is empty, not drawn out, they start to panic that there's not enough food. Even though there's going to be a completely back-to-back next frame, sometimes they'll get stuck on that one and die or freeze. For the winter, you want nice, even, drawn-out frames.
So you're going to feed these back to them later, or are you going to feed them back now?
Today, we're just going to leave it on top.
Okay.
Yeah, because today is what, August 19th?
I think it's August 18th.
18th? So we need to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, that they're getting enough food for the winter.
Well, they have a mixture of good and bad building on this side. Looks like a pretty good amount of honey dripping off there.
Yeah. And this is why you don't want them to build sideways. So this is a prime example. They build sideways, they connect to the other frame, and I'll show you guys that frame. See, it's a sideway build. It's full of honey, but there's like a trail right here. Now, when you look at this, how this was built out, see how it's nice and even? And even though like I took it out, not all of it broke off. Everything that was sideways, it breaks. On this side, again, it's like a mixture of the way they have built. See?
It's a tad bit better, I mean,
Yeah.
but it's still a mixture of good and bad.
Right. So, and even though, you know, we pressed all the frames against each other, they were nice and tight going in. I mean, I don't know what's up with this beehive. That's just how they build.
So they're not part of the Builder of the Year club, huh?
No, they're definitely not. And I don't know, this is like the first year that I'm struggling to have a colony build nice, you know?
Now, what do you have on this side? Is that a bunch of brood that's capped?
I have no idea. Give me a second here.
'Cause it's like grayish versus...
Nope, that's honey. This is all honey.
Oh. So why is it all gray versus like an orangish brown?
So it depends what type of flowers they're eating, type of pollen they're eating. If you look here, this is more yellow. If you look here, this is more gray. They're capping it off. Look at it this side. You know, they're almost building in like island forms, which is weird. That's how they're doing it.
Now, I posted something that I saw online where they can press and build drawn out frames. Have you ever used anything like that?
I don't like the ones that actually have the plastic support and they press or they spray a little bit of wax on it. We always use those ones. The ones that are pressed, just the wax, I didn't like them because sometimes when you would be spinning them out, they would completely collapse.
Oh.
Yeah. Especially that, you know, our spinner is electrical.
Okay.
So, yeah.
I was just curious because I saw it online and thought it was interesting,
Yeah.
but I've never seen anything like that before. So these ones that you're putting back, are you going to tear them apart or are you just going to leave them as they are?
I don't know, I'm kind of thinking.
Because there's so much of it.
Right. You know, if it's a little spot here and there, it's one thing, but because of how heavy the frame is and how much honey is on there.
Well, it seems like you'd be destroying all their work, which probably needs to happen, but it's so late, being August 18th, that, oh wow. This one looks a lot better.
On one side.
Oh. Oh, it's a mess on the other side.
Yeah. But the cool thing is there's brood. So we know that the queen is laying. It's nice and even, which is wonderful. So this is what the frame should look like. You know, this is the intent. And then what they do in between is just craziness. But at least we know that the queen is active. She's actively laying.
And for such a small colony, I mean, they've done a lot.
Yeah.
Even though some of that stuff they've done poorly, they've grown a lot.
They definitely have. And you know, like the next step with something like this is a lot of beekeepers will tell you need a new queen. You just need to change your queen. Sometimes when the colony loses a queen or gets a new queen introduced, the whole colony changes the behavior. Like, you know, how they build, how fast they're growing.
So you're saying our queen may not necessarily be the best queen, and that's why you kept those queen swarm cells?
Yeah, but like they started making those queen swarm cells, but we'll see right now if they actually close them off and if there's anything, because it doesn't look like this family has swarmed. it has gradually increased in size, you know. So, from what it was.
So, what exactly do you mean by that?
Well,
I mean,
you will know when your
I mean,
family has
because the bees are
swarmed.
here, and these aren't a new colony. So, wouldn't that mean that they didn't swarm?
I don't think they have swarmed because from what they were, they've doubled in size.
Yeah. So they've doubled in size, and they haven't left, as far as we know. I mean, we were gone for 3 weeks.
No, but like the neighbors would have seen a swarm of bees. You know, they would have seen take off, and we have a couple of neighbors that are really interested in all this, so they'll just come out and stand by the hive and just observe and look and see how the bees are, and they'll plant different flowers in their backyard just to help with the pollination and stuff. So if they saw something like that, you know, I would have got a text message about it.
Okay. All right, look at this side. This side looks pretty good. How's your side look?
The other side has
some combination of good and bad.
they have all those babies in there in the middle, which is great. So, not too bad.
So far these guys look pretty healthy.
Yeah. Like I said, the only thing I really don't like about these bees is their building style.
Well, maybe this is kind of like that abstract art. They're trying to do these weird, new, modern, weird buildings.
New patterns, new patterns.
They're the Picasso of bees.
Yeah.
No?
Could be. Could be. Can't speak for the species.
I thought they talked to you. Do they not talk to you? Alright, I had to get on the other side because I couldn't film with you in front of me. Yeah, some more bad building on this side.
I see the way they did this one. You know, if you look at it, it's like, oh, they did a pretty good job. But if you look in here, there's a tunnel that goes between the comb and the frame.
Okay, so
Like
it's
a big tunnel.
it's not as good as it looks.
No. And the other thing, I'm kind of thinking maybe they don't like this particular comb that we purchased.
The
Yeah.
Insert for the frame.
Yep, I think maybe it was not sprayed enough where it was like just complete plastic, but when we bought it, we made sure that it was sprayed with wax so the bees would have easier time building. But maybe that's what it is. But I don't know. There's just too many variations, too many guesses that you can take with that.
Well, they're even building on that wall.
Yeah. And so those things, I mean, they have to come out. There's no...
They're just in your way. You see a queen yet? Or?
No.
I mean, I see you, but
Thank you.
you're my queen bee.
Yeah, there's no nice way of doing this. You just gotta go in, cut
There's
these.
no honey on that though.
On this one, no. On the other ones, there is. You just gotta get them out. I'm sorry, ladies.
I think one of them stung me or tried to sting me and it's dying. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry I agitated you. So that's a nice mess.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Be careful how you shake it, because the last time you shook it, they tried to attack me. I love you, bees, but please stay gentle. Would you say they've at least doubled in size, or do you think it tripled? Because we only had like 5 good frames at the beginning.
Doubled. Definitely doubled.
But they didn't really have very much drones. All right, what do you have here?
Oh, we have a nice little frame with brood. There's about 3 of them in the bottom. Super. It's pretty even. They look pretty good. They have honey. Most of their honey is actually in the upper super than the bottom. But this looks good. I did have to break some of their pour building. But they also have brood here.
Where's the queen?
Off. The queen was actually in the second frame from the edge. So, but yeah, this is good. I don't like their building, but it's good.
Well, for whatever reason, they don't like me.
Well, I think next time you just need to take a shower. Don't use any soaps.
I love you. I need to find the other bee suit, I think. When they're agitated like this, even though I'm kind of afar, not inside there, for whatever reason, they're attacking me. And most likely it's odor. Back here, they're not attacking me so far, so I'll just try to continue filming from afar. The only problem is it's not quite as stable because I had to zoom in. But you saw the queen. They look like they're healthy down there.
This is another good frame. Lots of brood. Lots of fresh eggs. Nice and even.
So they're going pretty crazy, aren't they?